Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Satisfactory. And, previously, in the previous episode, we have unlocked the final tier of the game. And, I haven't actually researched any of the things yet. But before we really can do much, we have to address our power situation yet again. Like we added. I don't know if we can't really see it from here, but it's off in this direction. We added our fuel refineries to basically make fuel from crude oil. And that's basically what we're basically burning that for our power. And there's the coal power plant that we built like really early on in the series is still in use. But with my entire factory running, actually producing those, well, by that I mean this entire base, all of that running, basically producing those final project parts, and it's not even with the Christmas factory online. We were basically almost, through our power production, like basically 95% usage. Like much more, we would have had a blackout, and it's come a little bit down. But that's because now, well, I'm gonna add it in what the power usage was. But now, it's actually gotten a lot better. It's a little bit, it's down a little bit, but we're still 75–80% usage. So it's not completely maxed out, but we're still rather close. We're well beyond. We're well into using, like, we're basically both of our coal power and our fuel power is in use right now. And I prepared an entire train full of resources, because what we're going to do this episode is build turbo fuel. Turbo fuel production, and then basically enough fuel generators to basically use that for power production. And that is going to give us an additional 16 gigawatts of power. And and we could, of course, add it on to our current like 5 gigawatts. That's going to be like 21 gigawatts. And although pretty soon we're going to be we're going to unlock nuclear power. And while this may seem like a lot, nuclear can make a heck of a lot more power. So it's like I'm gonna be building this entire new turbo fuel factory, and then soon it'll just be run over by nuclear power. But we're really in a bind now. We kind of need this now. I mean, like if we were maybe half using our power, I would wait for nuclear. But we're like we're on the edge of it, and And this is going to solve at least our power until we get nuclear. And yeah. And I'm thinking we basically just go down to the bottom of this rail line, or actually right out there. We could put it right there. Our turbo fuel factory. Is we're basically going to be using oil and water, and well, and I guess in addition to that, we're also going to need coal and sulfur, and that is going to make our turbo fuel. And off camera, I've also unlocked some, basically all the alternate recipes we're gonna need, so that is already done. And as without further ado, let's head on out. Okay, so I have our foundation finished. So basically what we need to do is, this is actually a rather complicated, like, multi-stage process that we're going to be doing over here. And but first it's going to start with, well, to my understanding is first it actually doubles how much oil you're putting into it, and then of course it uses of course it's like a recipe that combines packaged water with heavy oil residue, and that basically gives you double the oil, or at least doubles your heavy oil residue, and then that well, it turns it into fuel, but it gives you like twice as much as you put in, which is kind of cool. And then you unpackage that. Before you start all that, you make packaged water, then make heavy oil residue, and then take the water and heavy oil residue, and then that through an alternate recipe makes twice as much packaged fuel as you put in the residue. And then there's another recipe which makes the turbo fuel, but you also need to make compacted coal, which takes, of course, coal and sulfur. So it's gonna be a pretty interesting, it's gonna be a lot to this that we're gonna be building here. Though in this current update, this kind of build will be at least be somewhat simplified thanks to the packager. So like with like our packaging step isn't gonna or like our packaging chains are gonna be smaller than they otherwise would be, thanks to packagers, that the addition of the packager into the game. And these refineries are going to be for the heavy oil residue part of our production. Though right before those, we're going to put packagers, and of course, we need rubber for that. Well, actually, first let's lay down so we don't put our machines too close together. I think probably best to lay down the pipes first, and the belts. So I'm gonna be laying down the pipes first, so we don't actually put our machines too close together and don't have enough room to actually do inputs and outputs. This is going to be our oil input. In fact, we can put down a giant storage tank for our oil. Over here will be our water packaging line. And now we run conveyor and pipe manifolds into this thing. now for the pipes. Well, actually, we're gonna need a Mark II pipe for water. And I'll set these recipes. And our next chain of refineries is going to be is going to handle the conversion of, this is basically this recipe here, where we're going to take our heavy oil residue and our packaged water and make our packaged fuel. Well, can I just run the pipe through here? I can. Since that technically will work, we'll do that. Even though it doesn't make much physical sense. Be right back. Need to out of resources. And now we set these recipes. And now we just take, now we just need to unpackage the fuel. Just a little bit OCD about how I'm building this. It's like I want everything to line up perfectly. Spent the past probably 15 minutes messing around with different ways of doing it, when really all we need to do is have them go straight out and directly into each packager. And these are going to unpackage our fuel. And then we just send all the empty containers back to the start. And then our fuel will move on over to here for our turbo fuel production. So basically we are going to now recycle, or we build storage containers to recycle all of the, basically once the canisters have come out this, the final step of the process, we can basically recycle them. And then they'll go all the way to the beginning where they'll be used to make new packaged water, and basically the cycle will just repeat indefinitely. While our oil gets turned into fuel and doubled at the same time. Also, I need to get the packaged water into where it needs to go. Which we can route through here. I think now we'll do power distribution. Should not increase our power demand, but here goes nothing. Really, if anything, this will just help us, help tell us what machines are connected and which are not. Well, since the last clip, I have kind of redone pretty much half of the factory that we had built in the previous episode, because previous clip, because mostly when I set up basically taking the heavy oil residue from these guys into these guys, I actually forgot that this produces a little bit of extra heavy oil residue. I think about 100 per minute. Like, these all together are producing 400 per minute. But this step only is using 300 per minute, and the other 100 per minute you can either get rid of, or you can underclock these, so they're only producing 300 per minute, or you can have them running full speed and then take the extra residue either to make other products, or what I've actually thought of doing would be actually take that heavy oil residue and burn it for additional power. But that also would mean I would have to scale up basically every stage after that in the chain. And I think also our packaged water production I'd have to increase as well. And but I think for just to make a little bit of extra power, that'll be well worth it. It may very well take us from 16 gigawatts to maybe even close to 20 gigawatts of production. So I think it'll be worth it. And I actually plan on utilizing like a variation of this process to also do large-scale plastic and rubber production, but I'll be doing that possibly in a different area of the map. Because pretty much all the oil on this side of the map I have tapped into and I'm using in some way, shape, or form. So thinking about, in order to increase this part of our production, I'm going to add two more refineries. And of course, they'll be on this recipe. And they're going to overclock them. those two refineries are going to be using 200 water per minute, so we're going to need to add on a whole nother line to our conveyor belts. This pipeline was supposed to be the carrying the extra heavy oil residue we weren't going to be using for the process, but since I've changed my mind, there's no more need for it. Well, I'm gonna go rework the factory off camera. Give me a bit. Oh, welcome back. I've basically configured the factory to actually work with 400 heavy oil residue per minute, which required me to increase the packaged water production as well as this third stage of refineries and the unpackaging as well. But I've actually been doing a lot of recording for this episode, and I'm currently at the point where I've edited the video to about 20 minutes in length, but this may add another 10 to 15 on, so figured I'll stop the video here, and then next episode we are going to add on to this the part that will take the fuel and then make the turbo fuel. And also build the... Well, I have no idea if I'll be splitting that to another episode as well, but I'll also be building all the generators that are actually going to make our power from all this. So thank you all for watching. This has been me, Dusty Circuit, to bring you some more Satisfactory. Stay tuned for this content as well as all my other content. And remember to rate, comment, like, and subscribe to all your friends and family about my channel. And peace out. Bye.